That means, if I understand, if I read you right, that means everybody contiguous to Southwest Nigeria who probably wants to benefit from this can also buy into the project.
Absolutely.
So what would be the door for them to come in? How would they be able to join?
I mean,
this?
if we make this environment peaceful, if we make this environment possible for people to prosper in doing their business, I mean, of course, we will attract all kinds of investments. We will attract all kinds of private capital from anywhere in the world. You understand what I'm saying? If you can find some of the best skilled, workforce here, I mean, that gives us a leverage. If you know that, health facilities here are, outstanding, second to none. I mean, you'll find people, so you'll find a lot of positive migration into this environment, and you'll find a lot of business opportunities, business possibilities. Like I said, it's not constrained and it's not even restricted within Nigeria. It is something that we want everybody. It's just to prepare a platform for people to ride on, to live well. Part of what we said was we want to make it a region where you can do business, where you can live well, where you can have, you can travel safe, you can, educate your children, high quality education, where you can find very high quality infrastructure, first class infrastructure and all of that. So that's what it's about.
Now, I'm convinced that you will need the support of the populace, to get this, going. So when are you going to put this on the street? I mean, because it's enough to sit down in some ivory tower and sit down and talk and come up with all sort of brilliant ideas. But if you do not get it onto the street, you're probably going to lose a lot of steam.
Can I say something? Those people on the streets understand these things even better than many of us who sit on the ivory tower, because development is in the mind. They know what they want. It's just that they want some people to midwife the process on their behalf. Okay? But essentially what we are saying is the same as what they are already saying to us. And if there is any need for us to have all kinds of interactions with them, of course there will be platforms for exchange of ideas. There will be platforms for all kinds of interactions with the people who are actually the beneficiaries of this. But do not think that they don't know what they want. They know what they want.
Okay. Now that takes me to a good point here. Are you a football fanatic like most Nigerians?
Well, not a fanatic, but I like football.
So how do you react to the Eagles coming home with the Nations Cup?
Well, good for me. I mean, it's positive. Just that I detest the over celebration of.
That is the point I'm coming to. So how is this part of what is your thinking? What is your thinking in preparing the dawn for things like this?
I think we must have excellence in all areas. I mean, we are not. The reason we are making a lot of noise about this is because we had been so starved of excellence. We had been so starved of quality results. We must have quality results in all kinds in every area, not just football. Football just happens to have given us that kind of joy in the last few days. But I think we should find joy in our educational system. We should. Why are we not rewarding our professors? What is wrong with rewarding our professors? Why are they not pushing out excellent research? What is wrong in giving them the opportunities to do that? Why do we have to go to India, and some funny places to get health services? Why can't we create such hot shots of excellence in other areas of our lives rather than just looking at football, which for me in many instances is buffoonery? Show me one country that has developed because it's a football playing nation. Brazil, the biggest football playing nation in the world, is not reckoned today because of football. It is reckoned as today because Brazil now sells aircraft. Brazil pushes out a lot of fantastic technologies to the rest of the world. It is rated based on its economy and not based on its football.
Okay, so now you have already you have talked about the accommodation of other interests who are not necessarily Yorubas, who can join, who can buy into this. So come 2015, what will be the specific mandate for Afenifere Renewal Group? That's number one. Then what will be maybe on the broader level the position for Nigerians for Yorubas by 2015?
Well, I will speak one for Afenifere Renewal Group is to continue to advance the frontiers of development in Yoruba land. Is to continue to push the possibilities that are possible here. is to continue awareness, to bring the people together, to rally the people together towards a front that will lead to development.
Okay, I think we have a call online. We have a caller online. Yes, please. Can we have your name and where you're calling from, please?
Okay, my name is Yinka Ayoleye.
Yinka.
Ayoleye.
Yinka Ayoleye, yes, you're welcome, Yinka. Mr. Famakinwa is ready to hear.
I want to speak with Mr. Dipo Famakinwa.
Please go ahead. Go ahead. Can you lower the volume of your set? Your set is echoing. Can you please lower the volume of your own TV set? Mr. Oyeleye, you're not listening to me. Lower the volume of your TV set, otherwise we cannot hear you in the studio. Mr. Oyeleye, you're not communicating because your TV set is too loud. You have to lower that volume so we can hear you here. You're not listening to us, Mr. Oyeleye. Can you cut down the volume of your TV set?
I've lowered the volume of my TV set.
Thank you very much. Can you have your question again?
Okay, yes. Mr. Dipo Famakinwa, I want to know the involvement of the private investors. I discovered that most of your program now is government oriented. I want to know to what extent will you involve private investors in this developmental agenda, most especially on health
and health,
on health issues.
On health issues.
Thank you, Mr. Ayoleye. Well, like I said, it is development. And the role of government is actually to provide that enabling environment. That is probably why you are hearing government, because that's their forte. They are supposed to provide the enabling environment for the private sector to thrive. If they do not free up the space, if they constrain the space, the private sector cannot have the opportunity to do business. And the development agenda is actually pushing for an environment where the private sector will have the capacity and the enabling environment for them to do the kind of business that they want to do. Government is not going to build rail, for instance. They don't have the money. They don't have the they don't have the capacity to do it. Government is not going to. I mean, talking specifically in terms of health, where it has worked is where government and the private sector have partnered together in delivering health services to the people. But the environment has to be built. The environment has to be right. The investment policies that would drive such initiatives have to be right. And that's part of what the development agenda is actually pushing.
Okay, does that answer your question? Well, we can let you know that, of course, this will be on YouTube, so you can ask further questions and you can make your comments, on YouTube. That is, you go to www.youtube.com/4/NTA2 Lagos close flow, and then you can then add your comments or your questions to what Mr. Dipo Famakinwa is saying here this morning. Now, one thing that also occurred to me here is that right now, it is true that you have created, the initiative. But at what point would all these governments in Western Nigeria, as it were, at what point would they begin to, get it onto the street or get it onto their people to know that, look, we have a collective vision, for the region? At what point would that be done? Would that be done by the commission or be done by the individual states?
Well, they started already, actually. I mean, because like I said, this thing is in the minds. For instance, I can tell you that the Osun State government is right now constructing a road from Osun to Ogun State. Okay? It's a road that will take you from, I think, a place called around between Ikoyi and Gbogan, and you can get all the way to Ijebubo. Oh, really? So you don't need, that's part of what we're talking about. We want to look at possibilities in terms of, proximities and contiguities, what is possible using that. How can Lagos and Ogun, for instance, how can they partner together in certain areas, and I can also tell you that Lagos State is already, developing farmlands in Ogun and in Osun. Those are the kinds of possibilities that we are talking about. No land in Lagos, but plenty of land in Ogun, plenty of land in Osun. So that is already happening. But the commission will just manage that process under a dedicated framework to ensure that it doesn't fritter away under certain considerations that might not have come into play in the first place. So the commission will manage all of that under that framework.
Well, one thing that we have not touched about or talked about here now is the question of political changes. Now, right now, there seems to be some contiguous, thinking because, well, you have the same political, operators in place in all the states. Just in case you don't have similar political thinking, then what happens?
Well,
do you have anything in the framework to guarantee or to secure that the commission survives?
We intend to build a commission that is sustainable, that presents a compelling agenda to the people, to the Yoruba people. Nobody will come to campaign in Yoruba land, for instance, and tell us that you do not want to develop our Greek, that you do not want to develop our educational system or our health facilities and all of that. So it is an agenda, like I say, it's not a political agenda. It's actually not a political or a partisan agenda. It's a development agenda. It's an agenda that anyone who wants to manage our affairs in this part of the world can find something useful. Okay, and there would not be any reason for you to say you don't want the commission any longer, because the commission would have done a good job and you would want that good job to continue. For instance, we've had successive governments in Yoruba land. They've not deemed it fit to scrap or do our investments, for instance. Okay, so those are the kinds of sustainable possibilities that we are building into that process.
Okay, now, well, let me just ask this. This is on a personal note. Why the drama of the launch, if this is a process actually? Why do a launch when all we need to do is to get this on the road and get people to... Why don't we wait for, like you said, you are midwifing it? So in which case you actually have not given birth to anything that is tangible that we can look at. So why this drama of a launch?
Well, it wasn't a drama. It was necessary. It was necessary because, like you said, you want us to take it to the people. And that was part of the process of taking it to the people. We felt that was necessary. And we felt that it achieved the purpose for
doing that.
Because right now you do not want to know how many people who call on a daily basis want to know what it's about and all of that. So it's part of...
In actual fact, we want to know, because that's my next question. So how can further contact be made, to the commission, as it were? Because just like our last caller there, was trying to, ask, I'm sure he must have other questions he wanted to ask as a follow-up to what you have said to him. So how would they be able to reach you?
Well, we plan to have a very strategic focus for development communication. And it will be out there for everybody who wants to make a contribution, who wants to, ask any question. But right now, all I can say is that the commission office is at Cocoa House, 10th floor Cocoa House. It has not become fully operational yet. As soon as it becomes fully operational, it will get out there and people can, reach us.
Begin to reach you. Okay. Now, let's look at other specifics, because I know that Western Nigeria, years back now, noted for educational, feats and all that. It's only recently that we're getting to hear that your former school, Famakinwa University, has been rated as one of the best in the country so far. But best in Nigeria will probably be about the 50th, in Africa. Why is that? Why that incredible drop?
Because we neglected education. We neglected the critical things that could deliver development to the people. It's as simple as that. If you preferred to give more money to defense, to give more money, and most of those monies are stolen at the end of the day. If you neglect your priorities, and again, that is one of the harm that Nigeria has done to the rest of the country, to the components, to the federating units. When you have a singular system of educating your people, we don't, for instance, in Yoruba land, we do not have almajiris, so you cannot come and do almajiri education in Yoruba land. We have our own peculiarities. Okay, so why do you want to have a uniform educational system for the rest of the country? The uniform educational system that shut down the study of civics, which I grew up to know, and we don't even study our history anymore. If you go to the secondary schools these days, no, they don't study history. You understand? Those are the kinds of uniform educational system that has shut us down, that has kept us behind. We don't study our languages anymore. You know, our languages are, how can we develop without our languages? Those who are making giant strides, who are advancing very critically in different areas of different segments, have taken the issue of their languages very seriously. Here we have relegated it to the background. So it's permeated every part of the country, in the sense that nobody did anything to ensure that the kinds of development that we're coming with, were sustained.
Okay, now let me come to the question of language, because that, again, I think is critical to what the Dawn is about to achieve. How are you going to deal with that? Because I know that in many schools in Western Nigeria today, Yoruba is not even, I'm not sure it's taught at all. I know that our children these days the emphasis will be on English, on French, and some other foreign languages. So how do you want to tackle that? That's number one. And then what time frame do you have to see transformation, where some of our kids can begin to think in Yoruba or to think in their native languages before they begin to think in a foreign language?
Well, part of what we have said really is that we must bring Yoruba back as a medium of instruction to our schools. Okay? That's the basis. Insert the language in our educational system, insert the language in our media, okay? Because we took them out. We took our languages out of our educational system. We took our history out of our educational system. We took them out of TV, radio, social media. We took them out. Let's bring them back. Simple. And then make sure that at home, we also, it's a consciousness. We lost the consciousness, and it's to bring the consciousness back. Part of what we're looking at the level of the commission is to set up a body that we call Western Nigeria Heritage Advancement Body. The Heritage Advancement Board will deal with issues of our language, issues of our heritage, issues of our culture, and those things that have been lost. We have some critical signposts to bring back some of those things that have been lost.
Okay. Now, what would you want to see? Maybe we are planning towards 2015 now. What would you be hoping to see, let's say by late 2014, before we begin to campaign for 2015 about this initiative?
Well, like I said, you would have started seeing some critical signposts that say, okay, we are back on the march of development. Okay, it will be so clear that the Yoruba are back on the path, on the track of development in education. For instance, we would ensure that our students who write external examinations, the rate of success becomes higher. Probably move from maybe 5% as it is right now on the average to above 50%, 60%. When you begin to see such critical signposts, then you know that we are back on the path of development.
Okay, Mr. Famakinwa, thank you very much for coming to speak with us. We want to wish you excellent successes, with this initiative.
Thank you.
We do hope that we're going to have reason to call you back here once we know that there's some measurable landmarks that you have been able to make on this project. So again, thank you very much for coming to speak with us on Close Flow.
Thank you.
We'll keep a close watch on what you're doing, and then we'll report back to Nigerians.
Thank you.
Well, for all of us who have been here with us, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, we would like you to continue this conversation on YouTube.